Greetings and salutations to you all once again. It is me, the Ravenous Spectre. Yes, I am here modeling my lovely Legend of Zelda bathrobe, and I can tell you, it's really toasty on cold nights like tonight. It's like 32 freaking degrees outside. I don't want to show you my nakedness. Sorry, I'm going to show you my nipples. I apologize. I'm doing some laundry right now, so I don't really have any shirts to wear, but this is just as well. Really lovely. Yeah, check out the hood. See, it has like a little thingy on the back there, just like Link does, you know. Come forward so that I may tell you your fortune, young traveler. Come look at my round, massive crystal balls. Raw! Anyways, sorry about that. Once again, as you can see, I am still not back in my usual setting, but it's all well and good. This is a pickups video, which is something that I haven't done for a long while now, so that's exactly what I'm doing today. Trying to make sure I'm all nice and covered up, you know, so y'all aren't vomiting over there at your computer desk or wherever you're viewing this on your phone or wherever the case may be. But, yeah, try to stay warm too. You know, it's warm in the house, it is, but, you know, there's always that little bit of chill that you can never seem to get away because of the cold air outside. But I'll take this off because you know how a lot of heat gets out of your head? Yeah, it gets really hot. Pardon me. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start with the pickups, and probably for the first time, I think in a long time, I have a couple games in this stack that I haven't even started playing yet. Reason is, one of them is a sequel to another game that I need to finish the first one first in order to be able to understand everything that's going on in the second one, and there's also some perks that you get out of the save file from the first one into the second one. So that's the reason for that. And there's another one here, which is actually the first one, as a matter of fact. I got this on a really good deal on Amazon. I think I got it for like $11 and some odd cent. That's not including shipping and handling. I think altogether, I think it was like 14 or 17 something. I don't really know, but it was a heck of a deal. And you know how Nintendo is with their games, how they never want to drop the price. They only have Nintendo Selects, which is a very few handful of games that they want to put out there for maybe half the price, maybe $20 or $30, whatever the case may be. You know, people love Nintendo, but Nintendo gets a lot of shit for that, which I don't blame the consumer at all. You know, Sony and Microsoft can do it, and they were kicking Nintendo's ass in the console wars, so to speak. So why the hell Nintendo doesn't do that, I'll never know. But anyways, we'll go ahead with the first one here. It is Project X Zone 2. Right there. I have the first one. I have not started this one yet. I've only gotten a little ways into the first one. Have not started the second one at all. From what I've heard, it's actually a lot like the first one. But I'm guessing there's also some extra characters in it. As a matter of fact, there is actually guest characters from Nintendo. I see there's some Fire Emblem characters here, and I'm not sure what that other one is. Not necessarily sure. I don't know if they end up giving you some other ones that weren't in the first game or what the case may be, but I'm definitely going to end up checking it out at some point. And I apologize if maybe there may be some games in here I think that may have been in a previous pickups video. I'm honestly not sure, but hey, you know, it's been a long while since I've done it, and I didn't go back and look at my videos, so I'm not necessarily sure, so do forgive me. Just kind of go a little farther ahead into the video if you so choose to do so, to be able to get to the newer ones that you haven't seen before. The next one here is Dragon Quest VII Fragments of the Forgotten Past, and I have always been interested in the Dragon Quest series. I've always loved JRPGs, obviously, and this one is basically a remake for the one that had came out on the original PlayStation. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it came out in either 1999 or 2000, somewhere along those lines, and they actually condensed this version down, and actually this one looks a lot better than the one on PlayStation as far as I'm concerned, but they actually condensed it down to the point now where you don't have to worry about dealing with long stretches of boring gameplay time, you know, because this is already a massive game as it is, and apparently it was even more massive on PlayStation 1, so I'm glad they actually did that. You know, I mean, I love long games, but everything has to be there, and everything has to be very together and concise and everything to really keep my attention from beginning to end. I can't just be having long stretches of gameplay just to pan out time. It's like, oh, this is such a massive game. We have so much other stuff that we can do in it. Well, if it's not interesting, then I'm going to lose my interest, basically. So, I'm glad they actually did that with this. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, and from what I played so far, I really have been enjoying it without a shadow of a doubt. So definitely one to pick up if you guys are curious and if you're into JRPGs at all. And I hope the Dragon Quest series gets a heck of a lot more love, honestly, than it does in the Final Fantasy series does, which I love the Final Fantasy series, but Dragon Quest needs some more love as well. And it seems like it's actually getting it with a whole lot of new slew of games that's been coming out for it and continued that's going to come out for it. Even the PS2 one, the Curse of the, I think it's the Curse of the Forgotten King or Curse of the King or something like that. I used to have it on PlayStation 2 myself. I didn't beat it. I don't know how far I got into it, but I think the one on 3DS is going to be, I don't know if it's going to have newer stuff added to it or not. I thought it was actually supposed to be out earlier this year, but apparently it's not. I guess it got delayed until next year, so I don't know. We'll just have to see. And the next one that I actually have here on the list is from Wii U, and that is Paper Mario Color Splash. Now, I've always been into the Paper Mario series. I've only played very little of them. I have one on the original Wii that I got for like $10 at a thrift shop or something like that, which was a hell of a deal knowing how much it actually sells for. And I was really glad to get it. Really colorful, funny, great game. Just so much adornment comes out of it. I've only played a little bit of it, but from what I played so far, I'm definitely enjoying it. It has that classic kind of humor to it, a classic Mario humor. The whole Paper Mario style, the color, everything. It's definitely an amazing time for sure. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw both of these up here, just in case I may have done them in a previous pickups video. And that is Super Smash Brothers and also Mario Kart 8. I don't know if I ended up mentioning these to you guys at some point or not, but if I have, then please forgive me. But yeah, I was actually, it was me and my girlfriend. We were going to be hanging out at a friend's place over a certain weekend, and we were going to have other friends over there. So I was like, you know what, I really been wanting to get these games so we can play with each other. Got them, loved them. All the hype about them is absolutely true, and it's my first Smash Brothers game as well. And obviously my first Mario Kart game. And now that I think about it, maybe I actually did do that on another pickups video, so I apologize. But it's Mario Kart and a Smash Brothers, so if you're into it, you're into it. It's fun, it's colorful, it's great with multiple players, obviously, since that's kind of one of the bases that it kind of revolves around. So, but definitely two to get for the Wii U. And yes, the Wii U is going to be going out of production pretty soon, and the Switch is going to be rolling around. So if you guys happen to pick up a Wii U, that's definitely two titles that you want to pick up. And this next game is the one that I actually had mentioned about me having to finish the first one to get into the second one, and that is Trails of Cold Steel 2. I know how I am about my JRPGs. The first one is massive. The second one is just as massive, apparently. But I want to finish it first before I start on this one. This is probably the first time that I could think of that as far back as I can remember, that there has ever been a game where I have waited to play it. And I've heard this one is so much better than the first one, too. I've just waited and waited, but I've been getting caught up with other games and been playing those. So, it's just like, someday, someday it'll happen. Probably by then, the third one will actually already be out on PlayStation 4, because I heard it was supposed to be going to PlayStation 4, so we'll see. Probably, maybe by then, I'll actually get back to playing the first one. I don't know. But I'm going to do a couple movies here, and they're actually game-related, so why the hell not? Oh, and by the way, I was actually going to do comic books in this one, but I want to get your guys' opinion on it. I want you to leave me a message down below, or a comment down below, I should say, or leave me a message if you so prefer, on whether or not you want me to do comics as well in my pickups videos, or if you want me to do them separately, because the fact of the matter is, it seems like I get new comic books almost every week, and it's like I can't keep up with them, because honestly this video will probably be twice as long if I ended up adding those in with it. So I was thinking maybe I could just kind of do them as a separate video and be able to kind of tell a little bit of backstory or whatever that's in the certain stories and characters and all of that. It seems like it would save me time and using so much saliva in my mouth, running my mouth so much. And Anyways, the first movie that we're going to be discussing is actually Kingsglaive, and that is from Final Fantasy 15. I saw this movie, and I swear to you, it is the greatest Final Fantasy movie that has ever been made, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm glad I watched it too. I'm glad I got it because it actually set it up for the game that's going to be out in a couple weeks, which I'm going to be picking up. And I'm going to be like hand over foot, man, just dedicated to this thing, without a shadow of a doubt, when it finally comes out. But the action in it is great. The animation is great. The special effects, everything. The story is cool. Excuse me. The characters are cool. Everything about it is absolutely awesome. So, if you've kind of wondered why it is that Advent Children got the reactions that it did from people and from fans and whatnot, and also the Spirits Within. Yeah, this to me, it's nothing like that. It's actually better than those two, and I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan, and I loved Advent Children animation, and I loved the action scenes, but the story was crap. I mean, it really was. And Spirits Within, the only thing that movie had going for it was the animation, and that was it. There was nothing else that was even redeeming, at least from my opinion. There was nothing else that was redeeming about it, any type of value. The next one here is actually another movie, and it's obviously the Warcraft movie. You got the you got the Horde there on the back, and you got the Alliance there on the front. This was actually a Steelbook exclusive that was exclusive to Walmart, as a matter of fact. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the movie anyways because I really did like it. I truly did. There's positives and negatives that come out of it from different fans and other people who haven't even played World of Warcraft or any other Warcraft games. Some people love it, some people hate it. I honestly loved it, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel because there's going to be a sequel. I mean, especially the way that it ended, there's going to be a sequel. I mean, because especially movies like these, especially some big summer blockbusters, yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely a movie that you guys want to check out, even if you're not really into Warcraft or whatever. The Horde side was actually much more entertaining and more in depth, I think, than the human side was. It's crazy because humans are acting on both of these sides, but obviously you have the orcs that are computer generated, because you have the humans that are in those motion capture suits, and their acting was just so much better than the humans was, and it's crazy because there's actually an actor and an actress that's in the Warcraft movie, and that plays as the king and the queen, and they actually play in the TV show Preacher, and they're a heck of a lot more entertaining and believable in that show than they were in this movie. So I don't know what in the world happened there. The next one here I haven't even started to play yet, but I have played it before, and I used to own it on Xbox 360. But that is Blue Dragon, and I ended up getting this again because of the fact that I found out that it's actually going to be playable on Xbox One now. So with that being said, I had to go ahead and pick it up and go ahead and get it and give it another shot, give it another go for sure, because I honestly did like it. I think one reason why I got rid of it was because I had it on my first Xbox 360, and when it red ringed on me, I was to the point where I said, heck with it, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I think it was at that point in time where I ended up getting a PlayStation 3, but I got it at like a really deep discount at that point in time. So I think that was when I got rid of it. Yeah, that was probably the time that I did, and I just sold the other games that I had for the 360 in order to get games for the PlayStation 3. The next one here is for PlayStation 2, and that is Crash Twinsanity, another Crash Bandicoot game that came out on PS2. I haven't played this one yet, but I definitely do like what I've seen in it. I've seen a lot of videos of it as well. It seems like it'd be pretty cool, and especially when you also ended up hearing about Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, I believe it was, were going to be remade for PlayStation 4. I can only imagine what that's going to look like. I mean, with the fact that it'll probably end up looking like I can only imagine how Crash's fur is going to look and all of that. If it's what I'm thinking that it is, then I'm definitely going to want to end up getting those on day one. All three remade practically for PlayStation 4. That's a remake I can really get behind because you're talking about games that were released back on the PlayStation 1. Now here we are on the PlayStation 4. So yeah, definitely, definitely something to look out for sure. And the next one here is Dragon Quest Builders, just like I mentioned before about the Dragon Quest series. There you go. I'm not a guy who likes Minecraft at all. I don't care for it. I don't want to have nothing to really do with it. It's just my own personal preference. I have friends of mine that like Minecraft and all that. That's not me. This is more of a RPG with Minecraft elements, if you will. It's a heck of a lot more entertaining. Yeah, it has the building aspects and all of that. but you're leveling yourself up, you're making armor and weapons, you're going out there, you're fighting monsters, you're gathering materials, and you're taking on different quests for other characters that are in the town, and it's actually helping to not only level you up, but also end up leveling your town up as well and going further along in the story. And it's really cool because it's basically like you were the spirit that was resurrected for you to be able to go excuse me, for you to be able to go and actually show the people of the world what it's like to actually create society once again, because apparently this takes place right at the end of the very first game, and the Dark Lord that's there ended up basically, I guess it wiped out humanity and wiped out any other trace of life, and any of the surviving humans that were still there, their minds were wiped of how to even create or do anything for themselves. So you basically jump in there to assist them and to help them. It really is really cool. It's really awesome. I definitely suggest you guys check it out and get into it for sure, especially if you're in a Dragon Quest series. The next one is one that I've been putting a lot of time into, and the one that I recently got, which was Watch Dogs 2. I really did like the first one, but the second one I like a whole heck of a lot better. The first one was really cool. The story was kind of short and fell flat for me. I didn't really like the story too much, but everything else is really cool. This one has a heck of a lot more color in it since it takes place in San Francisco. The other one took place in Chicago, I believe. But yeah, this is definitely one to pick up. If you guys were kind of on the fence about it, I highly suggest you think about getting this one, because it kind of takes steps back a little bit from the whole serious tone that the first one was in, and it kind of has a little bit more fun with this, like basically a group of hackers getting back at the man, if you will, that's screwing over society and screwing over people in general. So, but from what I've played so far, there is a few serious moments in there, but it's more colorful. There's more things to do with your hacking abilities and things like that. So I definitely suggest you guys check it out, especially if you're into open world games, and I freaking love open world games. So definitely definitely one to check out. So the next one is, I actually ended up finishing my first playthrough on it like a couple weeks, no, not a couple weeks, a couple days ago, and that is Dishonored 2. And I love the first Dishonored. This is the second one, and I am so psyched to honestly go back and do my second playthrough. I played as Emily the first time around because it seemed like it made sense to me, since it was basically her story. And the second one is Corvo, which she played as him in the first one, which is actually her father and her guardian. So now I'm actually going to go back and play as him, and they have two different power sets as well. So being able to see what his powers are and see how things react with him, with other characters and things within the story and cutscenes and whatnot is going to be kind of a new thing for me, I guess. Maybe changes up the story just a little bit, if you will. But yeah, definitely one to get if you guys were wondering, without a shadow of a doubt. The next one here is World of Final Fantasy, and I ended up actually getting the limited edition here, which is the limited edition is the same price as any other retail game is. And a part of me, if this takes me a little time to get out, because it took me forever to get this freaking book out. It's basically like a book is what it is, and it has like a miniature art booklet that's in here of some different characters from the game, and some I guess like some enemy designs as well. And of course I wish they ended up having the book separate, because they ended up putting it right in there with the game itself. And yeah, it's definitely all nice and smooth and all that, basically like it's a book. And I think they probably made it like a book, like to be like a little bit of a grimoire, if you will, since that also has something to do with the game itself. Since you go in and you're basically, it's like, it almost feels like it's Pokemon in the Final Fantasy world, if you will. And it's definitely one to check out. It's basically love letter to 30 years of Final Fantasy. If you're into Final Fantasy, I definitely suggest checking it out. Two little sidekicks that are with you, or actually one in particular, annoys the shit out of me. Like, her voice is so grating. I don't even know what her name was, but she's like this little white fox thing that'll follow you around. Her voice just makes you just want to, like, I don't know what, but you can't. It's like her voice, I can't freaking stand it. But this other little sidekick, I think her name is Seraphy or Surfy or something like that. Now, she's amusing. I think she's actually pretty cool. I like her voice as well. I like her voice actor. But they should have had her follow you around. Why in the world are they going to pick the most annoying one of the two to follow you around? I tell you, man, I'm just like, oh my god, my ears. But they also ended up considering that was like the limited edition, one of the special downloads, they end up giving you is the ability to use a Japanese voiceover track. Seriously, dude, why in the heck isn't that in the game itself? Are you freaking kidding me? We're downloading freaking like language tracks now, for God's sakes. Get freaking real. Oh my God. I tell you, it's like, ooh, if you pre-order, you end up getting this. You're full of crap. It's a freaking language track. It's a language track. That is it. Why in the world are you trying to make that be like? One of the reasons is it's like, oh, well, this is supposed to be something special, you know, because people really like the original Japanese voiceovers. I don't care nothing about the Japanese voiceovers. I speak, you know, I speak English, so I want to hear it in English. You know, some purists like it in its original Japanese form. That's all well and good, but just the fact that they're putting this out there is supposed to be a download when the freaking thing should already be on the. I'm telling you, man, some of these developers and publishers come up with some of the most stupidest and insane ideas to take out of a game for it to be free DLC or paid DLC of some of the most smallest crap that we have had in games for years on end now. For years on end. It really blows my freaking mind. It really makes me wonder what these publishers and developers are smoking when they make these things. Honestly, just, you know, really think about that. Really, really think about that. I swear, I'm not going to go into a rant about that or nothing like that. But it's stupid. It is seriously stupid. And considering that was already with it, yeah, I went ahead and downloaded everything. I had forgotten about the Japanese voice track because I just went ahead and just started downloading any little free stuff because they gave you like a free Sephiroth summon and like some free badges or something to use in the arena. And of course, the Japanese voiceover track was there. The moment I saw it was downloading, I paused it and deleted it. I said, the hell with this. I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. It was stupid in the first place for them to take it out, so definitely not happening. The next one here is the Bioshock collection. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm not going to be getting this. I'm not. I said, you know, I had the other ones on PlayStation 3. I'm not going to bother with it. The reason that I did end up getting it was because of the fact that I have not beaten the first one. I have not beaten the second one. I have beaten Infinite, but I also haven't played any of the DLCs at all. Well, there was a few DLCs. I finished the Burial at Sea DLCs, but I didn't finish doing any of the other DLCs or finish the first one or second one or nothing like that. And I told myself, you know, maybe I should really go ahead and get it so I can actually experience it with a new coat of paint, if you will, and anything extra that they threw in there, because they also threw in like a developer commentary as well, which honestly I thought it was kind of stupid how they implemented that. They ended up putting in where you would go and pick up little film reels or something for you to go in and look at and see what all is what behind the scenes stuff they had was going on. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you couldn't have just went ahead and just had it available at the start? I bought your freaking remaster, and I gotta go through Bioshock 1 and find these things. I mean, I don't know if they have them in Bioshock 2 and Infinite. I haven't gotten that far. I don't know if they have those little film rules that you'll find, but really? I mean, God, man. Just, you got a game there that's most recent, which is Bioshock Infinite. You got 1 and 2 there, which are much older. Why don't you just put them in there for people to be able to, are you trying to make incentive for people to go back and play through it again just to find these reels? Well, you obviously don't put enough of a sheen on them or a shine so people can actually see them in the environment. From what I've heard, some people actually had a hard time trying to find them. They didn't even know where they were. And I'm just thinking, I don't know why you just didn't put it there in the options. So many other games have done that. Why are you gonna make me go and find this stuff when you're the one wanting to tell the story of how you do stuff behind the scenes, and I gotta go find it? Whatever. Whatever I find is whatever I find. If I don't find the rest, the hell with it. That's what YouTube is for. So that's my answer on that. And the final one here that I have for this evening is Mafia 3. I actually have finished this one recently, a few weeks ago. Definitely love it. Definitely suggest you guys check it out. Some people, there's pros and there's cons that come out about it. Some people have said that some of the mission structure is really repetitive, and I understand where they're coming from with that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I understand. But the thing is, though, is it kept me playing, it kept me going. I was really interested in it. I was interested in the cutscenes and the characters and the story and everything. And I actually went on YouTube to check out the 3 endings because I wanted to be sure that the one that I picked was the one that I really wanted to stick with. And I went and watched all 3 endings because there is 3 endings, and all 3 endings are great. They all are. And I really do love how just the overall feel. You're in 1968's, 19. You're in the year 1968 in New Bordeaux, which is like New Orleans or New Orleans, and in the United States, and just the overall atmosphere and everything is really great. It's awesome. There's a few little graphical weirdo things that happen, especially with the weather. Like when it goes from day to night, it's like a blending, bleeding effect. It's crazy looking, especially when you go from like sun to clouds or from sun to rain or something. It does that same blending or bleeding effect. It's weird. But actually, they ended up releasing some free outfits, as a matter of fact, recently. So I may go back and check those outfits out because I want to go and play through the other side missions that I didn't, since it's an open world game, so obviously it drops you back in the open world again. At least most open world games that I know of do that. So the fact of the matter is I want to go back and do those other side missions so I can get to know some of these characters better. And even though some of them may be repetitive, or actually the side missions are kind of repetitive, I want to be able to do them because I want to be able to get trophies. At least I think trophies will come out of them, and also be able to get to know the other side characters better. But definitely one to check out. Even if you guys get in on the sale, it's definitely one to check out. Definitely get it without a shadow of a doubt. Um, yeah, especially if you love open world games, it's great. Obviously, it's got a little bit of controversy behind it. Like other stuff in today's society shouldn't be just as controversial, and it's a freaking game, for God's sakes. Oh, we can see it in a movie and nothing to be said, but if it's in a game, oh God, we got to crucify it. And people, man, I tell you, I hate society in general, so that there really is no other qualms for that or any other discussion. But obviously it deals with the late '60s, and it can also it deals with racism as well, because there was racism that was going on during that point in time, and other various things that was happening there during that time period. But it's happening during that time period. That's what happens. They want to make it during that time period. That's what they're going to do. I mean, especially with it being an open world game and dedicated towards mature audiences, then what the heck? If you don't like it, don't play it. Don't buy it. Don't have nothing to do with it. Don't, you whine, piss, moan, and complain about something like that. That's your problem. That's your own personal problem. Just don't have anything to do with it. I mean, you can go and see a movie or read a book about it or read a comic book about it or listen to an album or something that could have some of the exact same material on there as just as the game has, and everything is fine. You just let it fly by you like you're completely desensitized to it. But anyways, I'm not going to get off on a rant about that either, because this thing has gone on long enough. But anyways, I will chat at you later. Later, taters. I'm going to get ready to go to bed because I'm an old man. Hang on.